I want to ask you about, have you got any favorite lines from all the movies that your character says, and can you say it in the intonation of your character?
Well, let's go to favorite lines first.
Yeah, that seems to be a thing here, I've noticed. I've signed a lot of things with like a quote. I don't know, I think bloody hell was always something that I liked. When I was young, I always thought having a catchphrase was like the absolute pinnacle of anything, and that was the closest I ever really got to a catchphrase, so yeah.
Tom gets my father, he's always asked, has your father heard about it? Is there always like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can't do your voice anymore because you were 12, and you're 60, aren't you? Something like 60.
Yeah, yeah, 62.
Yeah. My favourite line was actually Daniel's. So in my first day on the set, I was shooting the last bit of Chamber of Secrets, and I improvised a line. And so I was meant to just leave the room when Dumbledore said, "Thank you, Lucius, that'll be all." And I had no lines, and I said to Chris Columbus, "Can I say something?" He said, "Like what?" I said, "I don't know, just I feel like Lucius is so proud, he'd say something." So he said, "Well, just try it." And I didn't tell Daniel, who was 12, you know. And I said, "Let us say, Mr. Potter, what was me a rhyme to save the day?" And Daniel puffed his little chest out and went, "Don't worry, I will be." And I thought, he's not meant to be this good. But it was his line I liked.
It's specific to the Harry Potter universe.
Yes.
How did you film the eat slugs scene?
Yeah, no, I do. I remember that scene very well. It really sticks in your mind. So I just filled my mouth with like latex, silicone slugs.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's worse than slugs?
Yeah, they did flavour the slime, which was nice. I appreciated that. I had like orange flavoured slime. There was like another citrusy one. Yeah, but yeah, literally I just spat them out.
Yo, thanks.
It was great, yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to say I really love the films and I love all of you guys, and I especially like Alan Rickman. So I just wanted to ask if you could share some of your favorite moments with him on set.
Yeah, he was great. I mean,
Yeah, we've lost quite a few of the cast. I mean, though it was a huge cast and it's been many decades and people get older. He was a great loss, he was a wonderful actor, but the thing about Alan, he was, until you spoke to him, he was very intimidating. So he'd been in so many films playing intimidating characters. Snape was pretty intimidating. And then when you spoke to him, he really wasn't at all. You know, he was very funny, very dry.
yeah, got some great. He took such an interest in all of us. I always remember he always was kind of asking about what we're going to do next year. We're going to do theatre, and he was just, yeah, you could just tell that he really cared, and he had a great sense of humour. He was, yeah, despite, as Jason says, he was quite, I mean, I think he stayed in character quite a lot of the time, which was quite a scary character. But yeah, he was so fun, and yeah, I do miss him a lot.
Thanks so much.
Hi Rupert, hi Jason. My first question gets on Rupert. How was the feeling when you came back to Hogwarts for the reunion? Do you miss the time? And my girlfriend is a giant Harry Potter fan, but she cannot hear today. Can you say hello?
Well, she's really not that big a fan if she's not here, let's be honest. I mean, you are, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm also a fan. Can you say hello to her? My cameraman, Timo, is there. Oh, yeah.
What's her name?
Timo. And my girlfriend.
That's convenient because that's your name as well, so that must be confusing sometimes.
My name is Mike, and my girlfriend is Josie. Her name?
Josie.
Josie.
Hi Josie, how you doing?
Hey Josie, live long and prosper. Yeah.
Thank you.
And let's dive into the question that, how was it for you to, after so many years, to go back to that reunion and be there as well, you know, with the others?
Yeah, it was actually kind of surprisingly more moving than I actually thought it would be. It was, you forget it's just been such a long time. It's been 10 years since we finished the last movie, and yeah, just to see everyone again.
It's longer. Wasn't it 2008? 14 years, I think. Well, 13 was last year, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've always said.
You missed a few. You missed a few years back then.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So yeah, no, it was, yeah, it kind of brings it all back, and it was such a great It's such an intense time, but it was such a great time, and it was, yeah, so nice to see everyone. It really was this. It's like a second family, really. So to see everyone in one place was, yeah, really special.
Well, you grew up there. The thing I think people often don't understand is, for us adults, we went into work, we came home. For me and many other adults, we'd do 2 weeks in February and the month of May and a week in October. Rupert, Daniel, Emma, Tom, a lot of the others, Matthew, were there all the time. And when they weren't there, lots of them, a few did, they went to school there as well. They built a school.
Yeah,
so that was their school. Those were their classmates. So it really was your life.
It was, yeah. I didn't really have a life outside of it, really. That was kind of it. And it was great. It was a great place to be. And we were really well looked after. Warner Brothers.
Was it a good school?
It was a great school, yeah. Actually, I think I did better there than I would have done in regular school, because it was this kind of one-to-one education. It was great for me. So yeah, but it was that was everything. So it was, yeah, a nice moment.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. And my second question.
Oh yeah, another question,
Jason. How hard is it for you to be on a stage with a Weasley?
Well, actually, funny enough, I was going to ask, I wanted to ask Rupert a question, because he played Ron brilliantly, and Ron in the films, not in the books, is kind of the object of fun a lot. And a little bit, not stupid, but kind of the simpleton.
Yeah.
I'm not being rude, that's what he created. It's not really on the page, it's in the film. And do you find when you meet people, and when the work you're going up for, that hangs over you, that notion that you're a bit simple or a bit silly or something?
Yeah, I think there's an element of that, definitely. But there's an element of that in my own personality as well. But yeah, no, I think that is something. I mean, I think over the years, me and Ron kind of merged into the same person. I found it quite hard to differentiate who was who.
You need to go to therapy, excuse me.
Couch. Yeah. But yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks. Hi.
Hi. My name is Veronica. I'm from Ukraine. My question for both of you. Has it happening on set when you shoot a serious scene and couldn't stop laughing? What happened?
Okay, yeah, that happened a lot. The worst was Dumbledore's funeral. For some reason. Obviously, I wasn't all after that. But I think it's the serious scenes when you can't laugh, you want to laugh. And that was, found it quite hard to control myself.
I mean, acting is not a very serious job. It's a very serious thing to watch sometimes. The whole time we're really just children playing in a sandpit. So you're laughing all the time. The thing that's nice about Harry Potter, I've done a lot of independent films, Rupert's done some as well. Time is very short there. You really have to hurry up and you're going to lose the location in Harry Potter. You could just last for weeks. It really doesn't matter. You can just keep laughing. Yeah, I found it I'm old. I knew lots of the other actors. We worked in many other contexts. I didn't think I would work with my great hero, Gary Oldman, or my Rafe, who I worked with lots of times, waving wands at each other in a big cape. So it was very hard to take. And Helen McCrory was a friend of mine, the late, great, brilliant Helen McCrory, was one of the funniest people you could ever hope to. She would whisper things in my ear that would make it very, very hard not to start crying and laughing. So yeah, I don't think any of us took it very seriously. I'm sorry.
And I can imagine, like for the first two movies with the directors, when you're directing tens or even hundreds of kids at the same time, might be very time-consuming to actually get a scene out. Right?
Yeah, it's the kids and it's all the animals as well. There's just so many animals.
Oh my God! This might be bad taste. Robbie's dog. Robbie had different dogs because they had a dog when Robbie was Hagrid, and then when the very, very large Martin was playing Hagrid, they had a much bigger dog. But all of those dogs had terrible digestion problems. And when those dogs let rip, you had to leave the hut for half an hour.
God, such a small space.
Be in the middle of a scene and go, I'm going to be sick, I believe.
Thank you so much for your question. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Anna, please.
Hello, thank you so much for coming. I wanted to ask two questions. I'll ask them both directly because I think many people want to ask questions as well. And first of all, Rupert, you already mentioned that your wife, daughter, and your kid is with you. How does Wednesday deal with like these social events? And my second question is, do you guys have a favorite place at Hogwarts? Like, for example, Hagrid's hut or something else?
Nice, yeah. Sorry, what was the...
so that you bring Wednesday...
How does Wednesday deal
we were
with
just
social events?
Yeah, this is her first... this is her first kind of exposure to all this, and she loves it. She loves Halloween. And she loves seeing everyone kind of dressed up, and she doesn't really... She has no real sense of who I am or what I do or anything. But she's just very excited to see... There was a lion, I think, and like Elsa walking around, and she was, yeah, very excited. But it's great, it's fun to bring her to these things and kind of dip her toe into this world. It's exciting for me.
And your second question was, what is your favorite set in...
Yes, like favorite scenery, favorite set, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, the amazing thing about Harry Potter is, when you work on most movies, they plan very carefully where the shots are. The director sits with the camera person, and they go, well, we're going to film that bit, so they just build that wall and that bit of that ceiling. But because they were making lots of books and lots of films, they built the whole thing. So I remember walking in one day and going, oh, there's a scene set in the Ministry of Magic. Holy shit! They built the Ministry of Magic. Do you know what I mean? They built the whole thing every time. They weren't green screen. The only room I remember being green screen is the one with all the prophecies, because they had to fall over. But every other set was like nothing I've ever seen before or since. So they were all... My favourite, I guess, is my first set I walked in was Dumbledore's office, because it just, even in the drawers and in the books and in the cupboards, the detail they'd gone to was it. I was so stupid and so amazed by it. I went, oh my God, what's that bird? They said it's a phoenix. And I said, where did they come from? And they went, it's a phoenix. And I went, yeah, from what country? They went, from the robot department. And I went, oh, sorry.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask if you still remember your first memory on set and as your characters.
Got on set, wow.
Yeah, well, actually, my first scene was, I think, the last scene in the movie. It was already. Did you come to Goatland?
No.
It's where the train station at Hogsmeade. And we'd say goodbye to Hagrid, and that was the first scene we shot. And it was incredible, because I was a huge fan of the books. And to suddenly, kind of everything was real, it kind of blew my mind. So it was a very overwhelming period for me.
Did you imagine at that age that you would be making many films? Did you think there'd be more than one?
No, I think we knew there was going to be 2 from the beginning, but I think only 3 had been written. So it was all very kind of new, and we were just going with the flow, really, and seeing where it ends up. And it was just a dream come true.
My first real day was the last scene of number 2 in Dumbledore's office. But my first day was with what's called second unit. So the main film unit is main unit. Second unit, they do the extra bits of people sitting on a broom or getting in a car. The main director's not there. So second unit, I was sitting in the stands watching a game of Quidditch. And a guy came on, Jamie then, and said, he had a stick from the tennis ball. He went, right, here we go, there's a blodger, here we go, there's a snitch, and along comes the beater, and then, and Harry's got the snitch. And I went, what the fuck is happening? I said to Alan Rickman, I said, what does that mean? He's like, good about it. He went, I have no fucking idea. I said, am I happy or sad about it? He goes, I'm doing nothing. So I just copied it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your question.
I have a question for the both of you. I'm wondering if the two of you think personally that the movies have done a great job adapting the book characters, like the depth and the essence of the characters.
Like how that worked into the film?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they're a disaster. That's why there was such a catastrophe in the box office. No, I do. I think what was amazing is to take books that were that popular, that beloved, people know every punctuation mark, every word, And to do what they did, which is make 2-hour films, which is lose most of the book, concentrate just on Rupert, Dan and Emma, their story, and still have all the fans of the books love them, is a remarkable thing. It very rarely happens.
So yeah, that's amazing. I mean, as you say, it's impossible to get everything in just 2-hour movies. I think a few times they were talking about making a few of them 2-parters.
You were getting old too quickly.
And now we were growing too much. Yeah, puberty. Yeah, it's quite intense. But I think they did. I think all in all it was.
You know, I think also Jo did something very clever. She went, you know what? Films are different from books. Take them. Do what you need to do with them. And there was freedom on the set to improvise, to make things up, even though the books were like the Bible for some people. We made, the end of the book, the end of the 7th book, there's the climax of the whole thing is really about the provenance of the wand. There's like 20 pages of who owns the wand. And their movie makers, they went, that's not a movie. So they did something else, because film requires different story from literature, and I thought they did it brilliantly.
And I mean, to even think of, not all the books were written, like you said, when you were shooting, but to have those elements already incorporated without knowing is brilliantly done by the filmmakers, definitely. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Thanks.
How was the last day you have failed on the set, the last day? Sorry, my English is not so good.
Oh, no, it's perfect. Yeah.
You should hear our German.
That's a wrap. One final time, that moment, what was that like for you?
Yeah, it was just very emotional. Were you there on the long?
Look, I'm an adult. Like, I was already grown up. I'd done many other jobs before, even during I did 5 other films and TV series. So for me, it was honestly just another day on the set. For me, Harry Potter is the gift that kept giving afterwards. Most films I forget when I finish and move on to the next one. This is the only job I've ever done where most of the pleasure has come years later from seeing the effect on people and how much it means to them. But for me, it was just another day. It was very different for you, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was, my whole life came down to just this last scene. So it felt like a very profound moment. I don't think I fully appreciated it at the time, but it's not since that I kind of look back on it and think, well, that was just...
Also, they weren't over. Because when you rap, you still have to go do the voice, there may be reshoots, there's publicity and whatever, so it never felt like it was over. It's still not over. Look at us.
But we had a mariachi band, and I brought in my ice cream, and so it was, I mean, in some ways it did kind of feel like, well, this final, and it was also the uncertainty of what was after this. I had no idea that, I didn't know what was around the corner. I had nothing kind of looked to it. It was just a very kind of, it was bittersweet, but it was kind of quite overwhelming. There was a lot of things going on, but it was, and also it felt it was the right time to finish. I think we all knew that we were ready to stop, but it was, I think about it quite a lot actually.
Thanks so much for your question.
Thank you. Thanks.
I have a little bit of a problem, and I think a lot of other Slytherins, Gryffindors and so on have that too, because when I sit down with my rope and I want to get up, I always step on it. Do you have a trick not to do that? Because I very much like not to rip them.
Don't get up.
It's simple.
I can't really relate to that, because Ron had hand-me-down robes and everyone came up to my shins. So
short robes?
Have them hemmed up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lea, and first I want to say thank you so much for coming to Germany. And my question is, do you still have contact with other actors in private from the Harry Potter movies?
Can you just repeat it one more time in the microphone?
Yes, my question is, do you still have contact with other actors in private from the Harry Potter movies?
Do you keep in touch with each other? Do you have the time to...
I keep in touch with Tom. Most of my scenes with Tom, I love him, and with Tom. Don't give him a chat, he didn't clap, he didn't turn up, I turned up. Exactly. But I do love him, so.
Yeah, I would say Tom. I think Tom is this kind of, he's a real kind of glue character. He's a real social, I speak to Tom quite a bit. He lives quite near me, and obviously James Oliver I see quite a bit, speak to them, and And occasionally I'll kind of cross paths with the others, and it's always lovely to see them.
I mean, the older ones, we see each other all the time because we're acting in things, and, you know, remember, we were all 14, 13, 14, 15 when we did the show, but, so it would be strange if I was friendly with people who were 12 when I met them. So,
yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey.
So my question is, if you could choose any spell that was ever performed in Harry Potter, which would you like to use in real life if that would work?
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
If you don't know the spell, you can describe.
Well, there's so many. They're all quite aggressive though.
Yeah.
A lot of them kind of, I mean, Wingardium Leviosa. I don't know if that's a very useful spell. It just makes things fly.
I was never very good at remembering the spells. I didn't get to do any. And since I didn't know any, on my second day, I was meant to pull out a wand and try and attack Dobby, and I didn't know anything. So I said to the grip, that's where I go, mate, I don't know any spells. Any spells? He goes, no. Does anyone know any spells? So I went, yeah, I know the Darth or something like that. He said, what? A Darth or something like that? So I pulled my wand out, and I went, Avada, and then I got hit off my feet. Millions of people wrote to me, how dare you, we're going to kill Harry Potter in the garden. I don't know any spells. I don't know how to use any spells. No. Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So while she's setting up her question, I'm just going to give a pro tip here. My 9-year-old daughter told me that if you have Siri on your phone, you can actually use the spell Lumos and Nox to turn the light on and off.
Hey Siri. Lumos. Lumos.
Oh, you need to update your phone.
Hey Siri. Lumos. You're 9-year-old. We'll have to
try this.
I'm so nervous.
You should be. There's a lot of pressure. This better be really good.
So my question is for Rupert. In the first movie, there is a scene where Harry has to dive into the sea to save a person he loves. Now, if Ron would have been a champion, who would he save in the sea if he had to choose between Draco Malfoy and Victor Krum?
Whoa, tough one. That is a tough one, yeah. I think Victor Krum.
Don't involve me in your...
Yeah, I mean, he supported
your minefield. I'm not involved.
Yeah, he supported Victor Crum's Quidditch team.
Siri, in film 1, Ron has
yeah, that would be my guess. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
My question was, how was your life when Harry Potter was at its peak and like hype?
Pretty good. I loved it. It was just an absolute dream. I was working with people that I loved. It was a story that I loved, a character that I really enjoyed playing. It was something. Obviously it was long hours and it had challenges as well. There was a sacrifice, definitely. I didn't see a lot of my friends all the time. But yeah, all in all, I absolutely loved it. It was just amazing from my point of view.
So I'm an adult. I've been in lots of things before and after, and I didn't experience what you did and the others did. But I think one of the reasons why you, Tom, who are better, maybe Dan and Emma, have turned out to be pretty lovely people and balanced, is because whilst you were maybe the most famous young people in the world, you were actually working all the time.
Right, yeah.
So you didn't get to travel around and be famous. You were actually working actors on a set where people didn't treat you like you were gods. They were treated like the other actors in the scene.
Yeah.
And if you had spent your teen years in Hollywood, or I've seen some teens really things go badly wrong, it would be a different story. But you were in this family with their arms around you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's completely right.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. Can I just say, Rupert, have you any idea how big this room is? I can't tell if there's 300 people or 10,000 people in this together. Like, how far back does it? Is it like 10 miles of people? I don't know. We can't see anything up here. Sorry. It's just us and you front. There's like 10 people in here with a speaker.
Hi.
First of all, sorry for my English, I'm nervous. But I wanted to ask, what's your favorite class in Hogwarts?
What is your favorite?
Class in Hogwarts.
Class in Hogwarts. Oh, okay. Favorite subject class.
I don't like muggles. My favourite class of human being, as Lucius. Lucius was really, I think, interesting. You know, the reason the stories work and resonate is they're fabulous and entertaining, but they parallel everything in the modern world. And Lucius was a blonde, rich, racist, trying to make Hogwarts great again. You don't need to look too far to find modern parallels of that kind of behaviour. So, yeah, that's my favourite class of human being.
I liked, and it's a class that we didn't really do very often. I think we only see it once in the series. Transfiguration with Professor McGonagall. She always has like some crazy animals. I always remember this baboon that was doing terrible things. But yeah, that was a
digital baboon, or did you have a baboon? Digital.
What's that?
Digital baboon, or did
No, it was a real baboon. In those days, yeah, we used real baboons. Yeah, it was good.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm so nervous right now. First, I want to thank you for coming to this Comic-Con, because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan and it really means so much to me. And I want to ask you, if you can choose anything from the Deathly Hallows, which one would you choose? Which one would be your favorite?
Any what, sorry?
From the Deathly Hallows, like from the cloak, the wand, or the stone, which one would you choose?
Oh, the three of them.
Okay.
I was rather jealous. The only scene I remember that we definitely did together was in Hagrid's hut when you and Dan were inside the invisibility cloak.
Oh, yes.
But you weren't, I could see you. But it did make me think how much I'd like an invisibility cloak.
Yeah, what do we use for the... It was like a veil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, also you just stood there.
We just stood there, yeah. That's true.
I've taken the cloak, you've got the other two. Sword and stone.
Okay. Maybe the stone. The sword. The sword.
Yes, the sword.
Oh,
yeah, the sword was a...
One goes to the wand, I think.
Elder wand, right? Yeah, elder wand.
The elder wand is cool. It's a cool wand. Yeah, let's do that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, before we move on, we've got like 3 or 4 minutes left before the panel ends, so let's do a quick rapid fire. Ask her a question and we'll see if we can get this
You're hiding behind your phone, we can't see your face.
Yeah.
Hi.
There you go. What's your question?
Hello, nice to meet you. My question is, what was the most difficult scene for you to shoot?
It's a difficult scene to shoot.
None. I loved it. The last big battle in the courtyard, it rained every day, and so we just waited, because it was Warner Brothers that had enough money, we just waited to shoot. We waited in a tent. All the actors were hanging out in a big tent, drinking tea, eating biscuits, listening to Julie Walters tell stories about her pig farm, and it was very difficult to shoot the scene because I was praying for more rain.
Quidditch. I found Quidditch quite difficult. Physically, it was quite painful, and
yet you still had a daughter.
I still had a daughter. Yeah, very surprising after that. But it was quite a challenge, and to kind of focus while you're in that position, it's quite hard.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your question?
Hi, so I would love to know if you still watch the movies from time to time, and what goes on inside your head when you see yourself on the screen, knowing that these movies mean so much to so many of us.
No. I don't watch things with me in it because I just go,
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I I can't really enjoy them. I think I've seen the first 3, and actually recently I've been showing Wednesday a few clips. But yeah, apart from that, I haven't really kind of looked back. I need a bit more time, I think. But yeah, I mean, I'm so proud to be a part of them, and it's great that there's still so much enthusiasm for them, and they're finding new forms of life, and it's great. I'm very proud.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Wait, now you make me feel like I'm not proud. I just don't like watching myself. I think you're all amazing.
Hi.
Hi, my question is, what was your favorite scene to shoot?
Favorite scene to shoot?
Mine's easy. My first day, because the first day is the first time in the magic world. I ran through, I walked out the door from Dumbledore's office, and Chris Columbus goes, Jason, maybe on the way out you want to shut the door? And I said, sure. Can I just wave my hand and it shuts by magic? And he went, yeah, sure. And I thought, this is going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, the first day was pretty amazing. But I think I like being in the flying car was fun when we were stuck in the tree. It was, we shot that for a long time, and there was an owl in the car that kept defecating pretty regularly. But it was, apart from that, it was great. And yeah, I've got some good memories.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi. So my question is kind of similar. Which movie did you like the most to shoot, and why?
I'll say the first one. I mean, I had much more to do. And I didn't like standing around watching people. I remember doing that last scene in the courtyard. There was days and days of watching Rafe being brilliant as Voldemort, but doing a monologue. And there were a lot of actors around looking around, she's got an Oscar, he's got an Oscar, we'll stand there. We bought a ticket to the Rafe Fiennes show, you know. So I liked it when I had more to do than the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, I mean, the first one for me as well, it was just suddenly walking into the books. It was just, as I say, it was just so exciting for me. And yeah, I'll never forget that first time I walked into the Great Hall as well, when it was all lit. And just all the people, it was such a spectacle.
You get used to it after a while. When you first go there, it takes your breath away.
Yeah, it's true.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for my very nice childhood. And then Rupert. And then Rupert, how was it to destroy the Slytherin Horcrux and speak Parcel? Did you break your thumb? And Jason, how was it to act Death Eater and to wear the dark mark?
Oh, I just like the wig. I mean, I'll wear anything. It makes me look. The honest truth is that I was so nervous about being in the films because Alan Rickman was already in them playing Snape, playing Sinister, that I invented as many things to protect me as I could. I had a wig, I had capes, I had a cane. I would have had a stutter and a parrot if they'd let me. And a wooden leg. I just wanted as many things as I could to try and even begin to be Sinister, sharing a film with Alan Rickman. So I loved every prop they gave me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of remember the Parcel tongue was quite tricky, and obviously Dan, he speaks fluent. He's very good at Parcel tongue because it's a real kind of, I couldn't even do it now, but it's very kind of lispy. But it was it's fun. It was really fun. I really enjoyed those last two movies were kind of really on a different tone, and it was great.
Well, the first Deathly Hallows was basically just you, Dan, and Emma going camping. You just went on a long camping holiday. Thank you, sorry.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Last question. Hi.
No pressure, you're the last question of the entire session. It all rests on you to bring it to a really exciting climax. Good luck.
Okay, I'm fine. So I have two questions, one for each of you. My question for Rupert is, Tom Felton mentioned in his book Beyond the Wand that you had an ice cream truck and llamas, firstly 2 and then 16. Do you still have them, and if not, what happened to them?
Yeah, I still have it, yeah. I learned to drive in it. It was my first was my first car. It was something I always wanted. I quickly found out that driving an ice cream van around with no ice cream in it was probably a little bit creepy. But I still love the van, and as I said, I took it on the last day of filming. I took it to set
with ice cream.
With ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I still have it. Yeah, I still have it. I don't drive it a lot, but it's a beautiful van.
It's for Wednesday when she gets 17.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a great van. Yeah.
And your question for Jason?
Okay. First, Becky, Rupert. And my question for you, Jason, could you imagine to play the character Jason Brody for more episodes in Case Histories? Because and my mom's opinion is that the show is very great.
Well, God bless your mum for her exquisite taste. Thanks for bringing up a show that literally nobody else in the entire room has seen. I did a British detective series called Case Histories. Jackson Brody is a brilliantly written character. The books are amazing. Kate Atkinson is a magnificent novelist, and just like Joe, who wrote Harry Potter. The characters are so rich and complex on the page, and we ran out of books, so we stopped making the TV series, and we made up some of our own stories. They weren't very good. She's written another book now, so we'll see if someone comes to me. But thank you for ending it on a nice damp note. No, thank you very much for asking, and thank your mum. And
thank
you all very much. No, you were going to bring it to a close, but it's been a real joy being. I haven't done a convention for 3 years. I haven't been to any. I was nervous about being out in crowds, and it's been so lovely meeting everybody. So thank you so much for being so kind.
It's been